you don't have a culture that's going to enable scale, game over, no scaling is going to happen. So defining operating principles and behaviors becomes critical to the business having a culture that's going to enable scale. Culture, I believe, is what actually enables scale. Clearly, there's a lot of things that enable scale, but that is fundamentally, you don't have a culture that's going to enable scale, game over, no scaling is going to happen. And it comes from the top, and it has to be designed and nurtured. It's not something that just emerges. I also think it's actually the remit of the CEO and the founder, not HR, which might be controversial. But I also think it's about establishing operating principles with expected behaviors. That's a very core part of it. So kind of like values and behaviors, operating principles, I'll explain those in a moment. Great cultures drive business performance. So that means great cultures aren't just about warm and fluffy and making everybody feel good. They're actually outcomes oriented. And that's the kind of environment people enjoy because they want to contribute, they want to succeed, and they want to have an impact. And so it needs to be performance oriented and outcomes oriented. So therefore, at the heart of that, values and behaviors, as they're often referred to, or operating principles. Operating principles might be a word that you like, might be stronger. Operating principles are what? They're kind of what we stand for, our principles, which dictate how we show up for each other, how we show up for our customers. And I love the fact that Tony Robbins said, you get what you settle for, which is so true in life. Think about your own life, I'm sure you'll find that's true. You get whatever the minimum is that you're willing to settle for. So if you set a higher minimum threshold or principle or standard, then you're more likely to achieve or get more. And the same goes in your business. Your team will typically perform to your expectations and what you settle for, not what you hope for. So defining operating principles and behaviors or values and behaviors becomes critical to the business having a culture that's going to enable scale because it's the standards that people will end up settling for. So they better be high because it needs to be designed, not just organically occur, so that it actually enables scale.